Christmas, a season wrapped in twinkling lights, warm cocoa, and the promise of togetherness. But beneath the glow of holiday cheer lies a quieter, often hidden story. Picture this, a frosty December morning, the air crisp and heavy with the scent of pine. Homes are adorned with glowing lights, carols hum softly in the background, and laughter echoes through bustling streets. Yet for millions, this festive tableau is seen from the outside looking in. It's estimated that 105 million elderly individuals worldwide may face this season in solitude, sick source. The joy of Christmas, for them, becomes a mirror reflecting loss, isolation, and the longing for connection. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "We are mirrors whose wholly derive from the sun that shines upon us." This Christmas, let's explore how we can be that light for others, and perhaps rediscover it within ourselves. As the world gears up for festive celebrations, there's a quiet but significant reality that often goes unnoticed: the lives of elder orphans. This term refers to older adults who are aging without the traditional safety net of family. No spouse, no children, and often no close relatives. For these individuals, the holiday season can feel like a magnifying glass on their solitude. The phenomenon of elder orphans is not new, but it's becoming more prevalent. Around 12% of adults over 50 fall into this category 5 source, a number that continues to grow as societal trends shift. The decline of multi-generational households, smaller family sizes, and a cultural emphasis on independence have left many aging adults without the familial support structures that once defined their later years. Take a moment to imagine it. The carols that evoke nostalgia for some instead trigger an aching emptiness for others. The scent of fresh pine, the soft glow of holiday lights, the laughter of families. These are bittersweet reminders of traditions they no longer have or never experienced. It's not just about the absence of loved ones. It's about the void of shared history, the comfort of belonging to something greater than oneself. This growing isolation carries a deep emotional toll. Christmas, a season marketed as magical, becomes a harsh reminder of what's missing. The Bible captures this pain in Psalm 34, verse 18. "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." For elder orphans, this truth may feel distant, but it offers a glimmer of hope amid the silence. Loneliness during the holidays isn't just an emotional challenge, it's a public health issue. Studies show that chronic loneliness can be as detrimental to health as smoking, 15 cigarettes a day. The toll is amplified during Christmas, a time that emphasizes togetherness and connection. This cultural expectation often leaves elder orphans feeling like outsiders looking in, unable to participate in the joy society demands. This experience is further compounded by grief for the family they never had or the loved ones they've lost over time. As memories of brighter holidays resurface, they may bring a mixture of comfort and sorrow. The societal shift away from communal care has left a vacuum that individuals now struggle to fill on their own. C.S. Lewis, in his characteristic wisdom, once wrote, "To love at all is to be vulnerable." Elder orphans exemplify this truth. Their vulnerability lies not only in their physical aging, but in the emotional weight of facing the world without a built-in support system. But this is not just their story, it's ours as a society. Elder orphans are a reflection of how far we've drifted from the communal values of the past. In earlier generations, communities banded together during tough times. Families were larger, and neighborhoods served as extended support systems. My mother used to recount how her family during the Great Depression always made room for neighbors in need. Today, that spirit has faded, leaving many to fend for themselves. This Christmas, let's ask ourselves, how can we rediscover that communal spirit? How can we ensure that no one feels forgotten during a season meant to celebrate connection, love, and hope? The holidays are a time for reflection, and for many elder orphans, those reflections are often bittersweet. Picture a quiet Christmas morning, the room lit softly by a string of lights on a tree, carefully decorated not for the joy of family, but as a small act of defiance against the loneliness. The silence is deafening. There are no excited children rushing to open presents, no aroma of a big family breakfast, and no voices exchanging laughter and stories. It's just you and the weight of what could have been. I remember one Christmas when I decided to embrace the silence instead of fighting it. The day began like any other, the sun breaking through an overcast sky, the cold air wrapping around my home. I sat with a cup of tea and a slice of fruitcake, staring at the ornaments on the tree. Each one carried a memory, a gift from a friend long gone, a relic from a family gathering I once attended. The nostalgia was comforting, but it also brought a sting. For elder orphans, the holiday season is not just a celebration of the present, but a haunting echo of the past. Memories of childhood Christmas mornings, big family dinners, and the traditions that once brought joy now serve as reminders of loss. For some, it's the absence of family they once had. For others, it's the family they never built. The hardest part isn't just the solitude, it's the contrast. Society bombards us with images of togetherness. Commercials showing multi-generational families sharing meals, movies where love and reunion are the ultimate gifts, and songs that celebrate homecoming and belonging. The airwaves are filled with an expectation of happiness that feels impossible to achieve when you're spending Christmas alone. It can feel like standing outside a warm, glowing house, peering through the frosted window as others celebrate within. C.S. Lewis captured this sentiment beautifully when he wrote, "No one ever told me that grief felt so like fear." The holidays often bring a strange mix of grief and fear, the grief of what has been lost and the fear of what might never come. That's the reality for many elder orphans, a reality that society often overlooks. I recall a conversation I had with a neighbor who, like me, spends his holidays alone. He's in his 70s and relies on his dog for companionship. "This little guy," he said, motioning to his Labrador, "is the only reason I get out of bed some mornings." His words struck a chord. Pets, for many elder orphans, provide a form of emotional support that fills a small part of the void left by human connection. They remind us that love and responsibility, even in its simplest forms, can bring meaning to our days. But not all moments of solitude are filled with sadness. There's a unique opportunity in the quiet to rediscover yourself and the small joys that might otherwise be overshadowed by the hustle and bustle of family obligations. On that quiet Christmas morning, as I sat by the tree, I decided to reclaim the day in my own way. I baked cookies, not for a big gathering, but to share with my neighbors. I rewatched my favorite holiday movie and found myself laughing, even if there was no one to laugh with me. And for a few hours, I volunteered at a local food bank, handing out warm meals to families in need. Those simple acts reminded me that even in solitude, I am part of a larger community. The Bible offers a poignant reminder of this in Matthew 25:40. "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." It's in these moments of giving, of stepping outside ourselves, that we often find the greatest solace. For elder orphans, Christmas can also be a time to reflect on resilience. Aging without a family structure is not an easy path, but it's one that fosters an incredible inner strength. It teaches you to find joy in unexpected places and to appreciate the little things, like the way frost sparkles on the window pane or the comforting scent of cinnamon in the air. Still, the holidays can feel like a mountain to climb. They force us to confront the stark realities of our lives, to acknowledge the gaps, and to grieve the dreams that never materialized. Yet they also offer a chance to create new dreams, to reshape traditions, and to build a life that may not look like the one we imagine, but can still be rich with meaning. If you're reading this and you see yourself in these words, know this: you are not alone. There is a quiet strength in enduring, in finding light in the shadows, and in holding on to hope even when the world feels cold. Christmas may not look the same for everyone, but it still holds the potential for connection, reflection, and renewal. And if you know someone who might be facing the holidays in solitude, consider reaching out. A simple phone call, a warm greeting, or an invitation to share a moment can make all the difference. After all, as C.S. Lewis reminds us, friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." The holidays, with their vivid displays of connection and joy, can sometimes feel like a cruel reminder of what's missing. But even amidst the silence and solitude, there lies an opportunity to redefine what the season means. For elder orphans, those without traditional family structures, Finding meaning and hope during Christmas is not about recreating the past, but about embracing the present in ways that bring comfort and purpose. One of the most empowering steps an elder orphan can take is to create their own traditions. While these may not mirror the bustling family celebrations often associated with the holidays, they can still infuse the season with warmth and meaning. Baking cookies, for instance, is not just a nostalgic activity. It's an act of creativity and love. Share them with neighbors or friends. It's a small way to connect with the world beyond your walls. Decorating a Christmas tree or setting up holiday lights, even if no one else will see them, is another way to reclaim the magic of the season. These acts are reminders that the joy of Christmas isn't just found in sharing traditions, but in the traditions themselves. Watching classic holiday movies can also be deeply comforting. Films like It's a Wonderful Life or A Christmas Carol remind us of themes that transcend loneliness, redemption, connection, and hope. In these quiet moments, it's possible to find solace in the stories that have brought comfort to generations. For many elder orphans, volunteering has become a lifeline during the holidays. There's a profound healing that comes from stepping outside your own struggles to help others. Whether it's serving meals at a food bank, delivering care packages, or spending time with residents at a local nursing home, these acts of service create a sense of belonging and purpose. Last Christmas, I spent my morning at a shelter handing out warm meals. I'll never forget the gratitude in the eyes of the families who came through the line. One woman hugged me tightly, her voice trembling as she said, "You've made this Christmas unforgettable for my kids." That moment wasn't just about helping others. It was a reminder that, even without a family of my own, I am part of a larger, interconnected community. The Bible beautifully underscores this truth in Acts 20:35. It is more blessed to give than to receive. In giving, we often find that the greatest gift is the renewal of our own hearts. While the absence of a traditional family can feel isolating, connection is still possible. Community groups, religious organizations, or even online platforms can provide a sense of belonging. Joining a local book club, attending church services, or participating in holiday events are ways to find and foster connection. Online communities can also be incredibly supportive. Social media groups or forums dedicated to shared interests, be it cooking, gardening, or even holiday crafts, offer spaces where friendships can blossom. The beauty of these communities is that they remind us we're never truly alone. There are always others walking a similar path. Pets can also play a significant role in combating loneliness. A neighbor once told me that his dog, Max, was his Christmas miracle. Max gave him a reason to wake up every morning, a sense of purpose, and a daily reminder of unconditional love. Whether it's a pet or a shared hobby, finding companionship in unexpected places can transform the holiday experience. Loneliness, while painful, also offers an opportunity for reflection and growth. C.S. Lewis wrote, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." This sentiment speaks to the transformative power of solitude. Rather than viewing the quiet of Christmas as a void, it can become a space for introspection, a time to rediscover what truly matters. For some, this might mean journaling about the year's challenges and triumphs. For others, it's about taking moments of gratitude, acknowledging the beauty in small things, a frosted morning window, the warmth of a blanket, or the twinkle of lights on a quiet street. Gratitude, even for the simplest blessings, can shift the focus from what's missing to what remains. For many, faith becomes a cornerstone of hope during the holidays. The story of Christmas itself is one of light breaking through darkness, of hope born in the most humble and quiet circumstances. The Bible reminds us in Isaiah 9:6, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." This season, more than any other, is an invitation to reflect on the enduring power of love and renewal. Attending a candlelit service or reading the Nativity story can be powerful reminders of the resilience of the human spirit and the divine love that encompasses us all. Finding hope during the holidays is ultimately about resilience. It's about acknowledging the pain of loneliness without letting it define the season. It's about choosing to light a candle rather than curse the darkness. This resilience is not built overnight, but through small, intentional acts that bring meaning to each day. Consider writing letters to loved ones, even those who may no longer be in your life. The act of expressing love and gratitude can be cathartic, even if the letters are never sent. Or take up a new hobby that brings joy: painting, knitting, or playing an instrument. These pursuits can become anchors, providing a sense of purpose and accomplishment. As C.S. Lewis wisely noted, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The holidays, despite their challenges, can be a time to rediscover dreams that may have been put aside and to set new ones that inspire hope for the future. Finding meaning and hope as an elder orphan during Christmas is not about recreating the past or conforming to societal expectations. It's about forging a new path, one that embraces the beauty of small moments, the power of connection, and the enduring light of hope. This season, remember, the absence of a traditional family does not diminish the possibility for joy, love, and renewal. Hope is not something we wait for, it's something we create. As we reflect on the experiences of elder orphans during the holiday season, it becomes clear that their struggles are not just personal, but deeply rooted in the fabric of our society. Their stories reveal a sobering truth. Our modern world has drifted from the communal values that once defined our communities. This shift has left many aging individuals without the support and connection they deserve. It's time for a call to action, a call for change, recognizing the need for stronger social safety nets. The challenges faced by elder orphans underscore the urgent need for robust social safety nets. In previous generations, families and communities served as natural support systems. But as societal norms have evolved, these structures have weakened. Smaller families, greater geographic mobility, and an emphasis on individualism have left many older adults without a reliable network. Government policies and community initiatives must adapt to this reality. Programs that provide affordable housing, access to health care, and community resources for older adults can make a profound difference. Imagine a world where no elderly person has to choose between food and heating their home, or where transportation to social events and medical appointments is no longer a barrier. Faith-based and nonprofit organizations also have a critical role to play. They can serve as lifelines, offering services that range from meal deliveries to companionship programs. By supporting these initiatives, we can begin to rebuild the safety nets that once defined a compassionate society. Fostering a culture of community care. Beyond systemic changes, we must also rekindle the spirit of community care. In the past, neighbors looked out for one another, and families extended their hospitality to those in need. Today, this sense of collective responsibility has largely eroded. But it doesn't have to remain that way. Each of us has the power to make a difference. A simple act of kindness, a phone call, a shared meal, or even a heartfelt note can transform someone's holiday experience. Volunteering at local shelters, inviting a neighbor to join in your family traditions, or supporting elderly care programs are small but impactful ways to bring back the spirit of togetherness. As C.S. Lewis wrote, "Love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained." This definition of love challenges us to move beyond fleeting gestures and commit to sustained action that uplifts others. Reimagining traditions. Our holiday traditions often revolve around family, but what if we expanded that definition? What if we saw our communities as extended families and invited those who might otherwise be alone to join us in celebration? A shared meal, a holiday gathering, or even a small group activity can provide the connection that so many elder orphans crave. For those who are part of religious or cultural communities, consider how these spaces can be more inclusive during the holidays. Many faith traditions emphasize hospitality and generosity, values that are especially meaningful at this time of year. Churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples can host events specifically designed to welcome individuals who might otherwise feel isolated. The Bible encourages this kind of inclusion. When you give a feast, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Luke 14:13-14. This directive is a timeless reminder of the power of extending love and care to those outside our immediate circles. Addressing the stigma of loneliness. Loneliness, especially among the elderly, often carries an unspoken stigma. Many elder orphans feel ashamed to admit their struggles, fearing judgment or pity. This silence can perpetuate their isolation. As a society, we must normalize conversations about loneliness and aging. By acknowledging these realities openly, we create an environment where individuals feel empowered to seek help and connection. Educational campaigns, community discussions, and public awareness initiatives can play a vital role in breaking down these barriers. When we recognize that loneliness is a shared human experience, not a personal failing, we take a significant step toward building a more compassionate culture. Incorporating technology for connection. In an increasingly digital world, technology offers innovative ways to bridge the gap between isolation and connection. Social media platforms, video calls, and online forums can provide elder orphans with opportunities to engage with others, even from the comfort of their homes. Programs that teach older adults how to use technology effectively can open up a world of possibilities, from virtual book clubs to online support groups. However, technology should complement, not replace, human interaction. While a video call can't fully substitute for a hug or a shared meal, it can still be a lifeline for someone who might otherwise spend their holidays in silence. Returning to communal values. The challenges faced by elder orphans call for a return to the communal values that once defined our society. During the Great Depression, my mother's family, despite their own struggles, always found room to help neighbors in need. It wasn't just an act of charity, it was a way of life. Today, we have the opportunity to rediscover this ethos and make it relevant to our modern context. This shift doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, intentional actions, checking in on elderly neighbors, offering a ride to a community event, or simply listening to someone's story. These moments of connection remind us that we are not isolated individuals, but part of a greater whole. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Next to the Blessed Sacrament itself, your neighbor is the holiest object presented to your senses." This perspective challenges us to see each person as valuable and deserving of care, especially during a season that celebrates love and generosity. Ending with collective hope. Change is not just about systemic reforms or large-scale initiatives. It's about the collective actions of individuals coming together. If each of us commits to making even one elder orphan feel seen, valued, and connected this holiday season, we can create a ripple effect that transforms lives. The holidays offer us a chance to reflect on our shared humanity and to take steps toward a society where no one feels forgotten. As the Apostle Paul reminds us in Galatians 6:9, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." This season, let us not grow weary. Let us rekindle the light of communal care and compassion, one act of kindness at a time. Together we can create a world where elder orphans find not just hope, but a sense of belonging and joy. Ending with hope in action. The holiday season is often seen as a time of warmth and connection, yet for many, it's also a season of reflection and longing. For elder orphans, the absence of family and traditional support systems can cast a shadow over the festivities, but even in the quiet and solitude, there is space for hope, healing, and action. Finding joy in the present. Hope begins with embracing the present moment. While it's natural to grieve what's lost or what was never had, the present is a gift, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with small but meaningful joys. A cup of tea by a softly lit Christmas tree, the flicker of a candle on a cold evening, or the sound of a favorite carol can become anchors of peace and gratitude. C.S. Lewis captures this beautifully. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The holidays can be an opportunity to reimagine traditions, rediscover passions, and craft a season that, while different, is uniquely your own, creating a ripple of kindness. If you're an elder orphan, know this: your life still has the power to impact others in profound ways. Volunteering, whether at a shelter, food bank, or hospital, can turn the focus outward and bring purpose to the season. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, can create ripples that extend far beyond what you might imagine. Last year, I met a woman in her 60s at a soup kitchen where she was serving meals. She shared that her husband had passed away years ago and her children lived abroad. Rather than spend Christmas alone, she chose to give back. "It's the best gift I could give myself," she said. Her smile, born of service, was a testament to the power of connecting with others. Reaching out, the power of connection. Loneliness thrives in silence, but connection can break through its barriers. If you're feeling isolated this Christmas, consider reaching out. A phone call to a friend, a visit to a neighbor, or even joining a community event can make a world of difference. While taking the first step might feel daunting, the rewards, a shared laugh, a warm conversation, or a sense of belonging, are worth it. And if you know someone who might be facing the holidays alone, extend an invitation. It doesn't have to be extravagant. A cup of coffee, a shared meal, or even a simple "How are you?" can remind them that they matter. As the Bible reminds us in Proverbs 17 verse 17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. This holiday season, let us be that friend, that connection, that reminder of love for someone in need, harnessing the power of faith. For many, faith provides a wellspring of hope during the holidays. The story of Christmas itself is one of profound hope. Light born into darkness, a savior arriving in the humblest of settings. Reflecting on this story can bring comfort and strength, reminding us that even in our lowest moments, we are not alone. Attending a candlelit service, reading passages from the Bible, or spending quiet moments in prayer or meditation can foster a sense of peace and renewal. Isaiah 41:10 offers this reassurance. "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Embracing the new year with hope. The close of the holiday season doesn't mean the end of hope. It's the beginning of a new chapter. The start of a new year offers a chance to set intentions, dream new dreams, and build the connections that sustain us. If you've spent this Christmas alone, consider how the coming year might look different. Could you join a local club, volunteer regularly, or reach out to an old friend? Even small steps, like engaging in online communities or exploring a new hobby, can pave the way for a more connected and fulfilling future. A collective responsibility. As a society, we have a responsibility to ensure that no one feels forgotten during the holidays, or at any time. This requires more than individual kindness. It calls for systemic change. Advocating for programs that support elder orphans, from affordable housing to accessible mental health resources, is a step toward building a more compassionate world. Let us also challenge the cultural narrative that celebrates independence at the cost of connection. True strength lies not in isolation, but in our ability to rely on and uplift one another. C.S. Lewis reminds us of this truth. Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What, you too? I thought I was the only one." By fostering conversations about loneliness and aging, we can create spaces where connection thrives. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. How can you make a difference this holiday season? Whether it's through a small act of kindness, a commitment to volunteering, or simply reaching out to someone in need, your actions matter. If you're an elder orphan, know that your story is important, your experiences are valid, and your future is filled with possibilities. And if you're fortunate enough to have a circle of family or friends, consider how you might extend that warmth to those who lack it. As Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Together, we can create a season of love, connection, and renewal, one act of kindness at a time. This Christmas, let's choose to be the light in someone else's darkness. Let's choose to see loneliness not as an endpoint, but as an opportunity to connect, to serve, and to heal. The holidays are not about perfection or tradition. They're about love in all its forms. So whether you find yourself surrounded by family or sitting quietly by a glowing tree, remember, hope is always within reach. And in the spirit of the season, let us extend that hope to one another. Together, we can make this a time of renewal, reflection, and joy. Thank you for listening, for being part of this conversation, and for choosing to make a difference. If this message has touched you, share it with someone who might need it. Let's build a community of understanding and support this season and beyond. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with a heartfelt reminder. The holidays, though often challenging for many, still hold the power to bring light into the darkest corners. Whether you're an elder orphan, someone who knows the ache of solitude, or simply someone seeking ways to make a difference, this season is an invitation to create and share joy in new and meaningful ways. If this message resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps ensure that important conversations like these continue to reach those who need them most. In the comments below, I invite you to share your own experiences, what the holidays mean to you, how you found joy in unexpected places, or ways you've reached out to others. Your story might be the light someone else needs to find their way. And if you know someone who could benefit from this message, please share this video with them. Together, we can create a ripple of kindness and connection that transforms not just this season, but the lives of those who feel forgotten. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind." Let's step into this holiday season with hope, with purpose, and with a commitment to making the world a little warmer for everyone. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for being part of this growing community. Wishing you peace, connection, and renewal this holiday season. And always,